Hey everybody, it's Dr. Christopher Wellwood at the Regenerative Medicine Institute. I thought I'd like to go ahead and give you guys an update on a couple of the cases that we talked about last week that I found interesting. And apparently you guys did too, because you've been sharing them all over and I really appreciate that. You've been talking to me, which is even better. I love talking to people if you know anything about me. So one of the things that we saw last week was that lateral thigh numbness on the lateral femoral cutaneous nerve. Now, for those of you who didn't see that, it's basically a nerve that runs along the outside of the knee area and the outside of the thigh that this gentleman who trucks a lot in ranching, and he basically doesn't have any sensation there at all. He came back in today for his second injection, and we mapped it out, which basically means I took little pins and I mapped out the areas that he's actually numb. And lo and behold, after the mapping was done, I took some pictures. He actually had improvement, so he actually had sensation of an improvement of a ½ an inch in the diameter. That is pretty darn amazing. So he basically went from 2.5 by 3 numbness to a 2 by 2, or roughly 2 by 2.25. Pretty darn amazing stuff for only a week. So another case that I'd like to go ahead and update you on is that retrocalcaneal bursitis. Remember, I went like this on that video. If you don't remember, basically retrocalcaneal bursitis is where the heel and the leg meet. If this was my heel, of course. I know it's my hand, but it's my heel. Right here, and there's that big Achilles tendon. So we all have them. Well, most of us do. And basically you squeeze that tendon right there, and if there's a lot of pain and it kind of goes around the sides into the actual heel itself, that could be an indication of retrocalcaneal bursitis. So this gentleman comes back in today for an update, and he tells me that lo and behold, he is 85% better. Now, that's one injection. That's amazing. I mean, by any type of account, that's basically a miracle. And he really only has pain when he extends his foot, or what we call dorsiflexes his foot a lot, and it's right at the end point. So he's still got a little bit of irritation down there. Not quite sure why. It could be a bone spur. I don't know. I don't have x-ray visions, and we don't have x-ray here that we perform. However, it could just be a localized irritation from that. Another result that we'd like to talk to you about today would be that Piriformis injection that we did. Now, for those of you who saw my last video blog last week, I think I talked to you guys about a patient who had come in and she had a lot of surgeries down in her piriformis. That's the butt muscle that basically toes out, so it makes you duck walk. So this patient had had chronic history of piriformis pain, so pain would be going down her leg. She had multiple surgeries in there, which means she had multiple scar tissues in the area. She was a referral from me from a neurologist downtown. So she comes in, we do an injection in several different areas. She comes back today, so this is only her second visit of seeing me. She's very happy. Why? Because she had 5 days of complete pain relief. Now, this patient has been in constant pain for more than 5 years. 5 days of complete pain relief. And it only came back after she started to sit for a long period of time because she's had some family tragedies that unfortunately occurred during the same period of time. However, 5 days of pain relief is absolutely amazing. I mean, this woman has been under multiple surgeries to actually get it done to reduce her pain. She's been under chiropractic care. She's been in a massage care. She's been in multiple physical therapists. She's had multiple steroid injections. She has run the gamut. She came to me as a last-ditch effort, which oftentimes happens. It's okay. But 5 days of pain relief. So what we ended up doing with her today is not only injecting her piriformis, that muscle again, to improve the pain, to increase her pain relief, but we also injected the scars that were created by the surgeon. So because she's had multiple surgeries, there was multiple surgeons who went through the same scar tissue. And some of you may not know this, but scar tissue is actually 100 times more sensitive than normal tissue. And the reason is because when you break something in the body wants to heal it. And it cocoons that area in nerves. And then you get scar tissue formation after the inflammation occurs. And that scar tissue can root around like a tree root in certain instances. And it can be very painful. One of the things that we tend to do here is basically injecting the scar tissue with prolozone, of course. So I shouldn't say of course, because there's other things we could do as well. But we inject it with prolozone, and hopefully she actually will have some significant release from that. So just a couple of updates for you today. I hope that you all are going to have a great weekend. This is Dr. Christopher Wellwood at the Regenerative Medicine Institute. Yours of good health.